Getting into the left side or getting into the right side possibly might be really challenging, right? And it's not one of those things that it's like you just do this ass and abs day 19 one time and like, oh my God, it's so easy. Like this shit, the breathing stuff, like it just doesn't work like that, right? There's so many things that could be happening, like at the foot, the back of the pelvis, the hip, that are influencing that. But I want to be able to watch you and then take you through a couple different positions and just have you feel it in your body in one of those positions, hopefully. Okay. So in a perfect world, we would all have like a really small ball, but you can do this with a block as well. You could literally like roll up a towel and do it with that as well. You're going to start by lying down on your back. And I'm going to show you from this back view what it looks like. And I can even do it with a block because I know a lot of people are going to do it with a block. You're going to think about doing a left hip shift bridge first. And see how I have like a thinner block? This is easier. If I'm lying on my back like this, can you see how if I was to hip shift on my left knee, does that look like my left side to you on Zoom or is it backwards?
No, it looks like your left side.
Okay, so this is my left. I am gonna pull my left side back and my right hip forward. Does that make sense? So left hip is pulling back, right knee is forward. Same as we do in the sideline position, that my right knee is forward and longer than my left. So this is like, people are like, what do you mean forward? If I'm looking at my knees and I'm like, if I was sitting down in a chair or in the car, if I pull my left hip back, my right knee is higher than my left, right? So I could make sure that my low back on the left is in contact with the ground. My big toe, my pinky toe, and my heel are in contact with the wall. And then I just lift my right leg. I should be in my left side, right? Now, what I'm going to do is pull down the wall as I inhale, bridge up, exhale down, inhale, bridge up, exhale down. But my right leg is staying longer than my left the entire time. I'm pushing my left adductor into the block the whole time, okay? So I want you to give me 12 bridges in a hip shift on each side. You just got to play around with the position. You're not bridging too high through your low back. You're actively dragging down. And this can be done in a lot of different ways. Like you could do it on a bench with the heel drag. It's just like, good. So try to, Michelle, bring your butt a little bit closer so you're more at like a 90-degree angle and then go like a little bit slower with it. Yep, perfect. So what you don't want to have happening is that you're overusing your hip flexor. Good. You want to be able to feel your hamstring. And the reason I like the ball is because the ball rolls, right? It's easier to be able to tell. Like, say I had like a, oh, hang on one second. If I was sitting in my car and we all have these like Yeti containers now, I'm sitting in the car and I feel like I am like on a long trip and I'm all fucking jacked up. If I go like this and I pull my left hip back, that's a hip shift, right? That's what we're doing in lunging. That's what we're doing in like when I'm cueing hip shifts, right? It's just like, hi, Evelyn. Are we actually getting there? Right? And is our body feeling it? It's kind of like the question. So I like to just play around in different positions. Like Caitlin's doing sideline. We do sideline hip shift all the time, right? This is a supine hip shift. Now we're going to flip ourselves over and we're going to go into a bear hip shift. Okay. Now, if you look at me from this position, you can see the line in my legs, right? Like thigh gap. I'm going to lift up and then I'm going to drop my left knee down, drop my right knee down, drop my left knee down, drop my right knee down. Now, you could do that same thing with a ball between your knees. Same thing, that's going to keep abduction. But you should be able to feel your abs in that position too, because now you're face down. So I'm going to have you do 20 of those knee taps in that position. Could this be harder for people? Yes. Could people feel their back? Yes, because guess what? A lot of you live like this. Your pelvis is going like this and dumping forward. So if you try to do a hip shift on an anterior orientation, it's not uncommon that you would feel it in your back. So you really got to get that tucked under position of the pelvis to start. Okay. Or it's going to really be like a really deep feeling in the abdominals that like you normally don't get because you are so dumped forward, right? Which is what I hope for. Now, I've been awake since like 4 o'clock, so obviously you can see me. Chat. We're gonna do it standing up now, okay? So if I put my right foot forward and my left leg up the wall, I just posted this to Instagram today. I can do a hip shift with a block or a ball, but I'm gonna do a hip shift co-contraction. So I'm standing at the wall. Would you rather me show it with a block or you don't really care? Whatever. So I'm here. I have my right foot down on the ground, and then I have my left leg up the wall. Again, my right leg is going to be in front of my left, and then I'm going to take this block in between my legs. My right knee is bent, and I'm pulling my right hip back so that my left knee is longer. Does that make sense? So the same thing we were talking about in the other positions, okay? Now, to make it more complicated, Michelle, back your right leg up just a teeny tiny bit and get your weight over your front leg. I want you to just go to the ball of your right foot a little bit. So you're big toe and your pinky toe, a little elevated. And then you're gonna just drop down like a hunchback. But guess what? I'm shifted in this hip. So I'm in my right side. My right knee is bent, so bend your right knee more, Rebecca. Good, and then you're gonna come up, and then you're gonna drop down again. I do not care what your low back is doing, but you're in that co-contracted, hip shifted position. That should be lighting up your calf, your hamstring, your quad. But you gotta find that hip shift first. Good, so Danielle, don't just fold forward straight. Try to rotate your torso over the stance leg. So left arm would reach towards your right foot. Is your right knee staying bent? Oh my God, look at Katie Morgan's like doll right in the front of the. Oh. What do you feel when you do that? Good. Butts. Does anybody feel their abs too or no?
Yeah.
Good. So it's like, it's one of the first positions that like getting in that co-contracted position, like really lets me feel my abs too, because I feel like I'm always flaring through my rib cage, but whether it's subtle or not, right? Obviously you're going to feel your calf too. You're basically working a ton of muscles all at once. So I am going to talk through the other side, like talk through the hip shift, all that. Make sure that your standing leg is in front of the leg that's up the wall, okay? Put the block in, shift your left hip back and your right knee long. Do not hike your left hip, okay? Go onto the ball of the foot, just a little bit. So your knee is bent and then you're more weighted on the ball of your foot. You're gonna reach down towards the ground like a hunchback kind of. Danielle, get on your left side more though. So pull your left hip back, more. And then drive your knee into the ball and take your right hand and just hold down by your pinky toe. Now, everybody just hold here and just try to breathe for a second, because the left side is definitely more challenging for most people. Now breathe and make sure you're over your left side. Now, push your left knee into the block and then come up, but keep your knee bent. Get back down, up, get back down. My knee is staying bent. Pull the hip back. But if your pelvis is constantly rotating the opposite direction, which like I see with Danielle, we got to get you over that left side or else it's going to be really hard. Do you see how you're so much in external rotation on that right leg? It's like everything's kind of rotating that way. Yeah, pull your left hip back. Yes, bend the knee, get down there, hold, and push your left knee into the ball, but keep your left hip back. Nice. Good, now just get your weight a little bit more forward, Rebecca, and then you'll feel it. Well, thank the Lord that that's over because it's miserable and I totally know. Hopefully you felt something though. Ish, maybe. Or you want to just like throw a block at me, maybe.
No, that was great. And I really do love having the block between my knees when I do that, because then I just can't use my back.
Exactly, because why? Because you don't have any internal rotation and most of us don't. So we need that. That's how the pelvis is going to gain internal rotation, is by adduction. Okay, so we did that. Now let's go lateral lunge. We're going to do lateral lunge with reach, and you're just going to go 20 repetitions. So whatever, that only took like 12 minutes. So feet together. Just realize we're not crazy in like that that you get frustrated, because it's like we do have compression and like there are it just takes a while to like peel back these layers. Okay, so if the feet are together, you're going to lunge to the right, pull the knee in, and you're going to reach your left arm across, step back to the middle, step to the left, knee pulls in, reach across with the right arm. So I'm literally just inhaling, exhale, inhale, exhale. I want your heels heavy. And I don't want your knee pushing out. So slow down, toes forward, knee pulls into midline, knee pulls into midline. Yes, good. Good. So I don't see anybody doing it right now, but there could be a tendency to pull too much in at the knee. You just need to make sure that your big toe mound is staying down on the ground, your pinky toe mound and your heel, that tripod foot throughout. But this is definitely a little bit different than I see most people doing a lateral lunge on the internet. Good. And always, like, I see Jacqueline doing more of like an isometric. Isometrics are always great. Taking that band, pulling in to get a little adduction. In the email today for like ass and abs, I just wrote down like where on the portal some of my favorite like tight ass releases, or like lateral lunge with adduction, or like how to get hip shifty. It's all in that email too. And that could just be something that you could practice on the on like your rest days. Now we're going to go back, and we're going to do a bear to down dog with a reach. So RPD, you could go on your bench with your forearms. We're here, just Caitlin, same thing with you. Just do a regular bear to a down dog. If I'm here, I'm going to reach back. This is my inhale. Hand reaches like at a downward diagonal. It could reach straight across the mid back. But just notice what you're feeling when you take an inhale here. And then also just like look at my hand. Start to pay attention to what your hands are doing. See, I see a lot of you guys, like, you see how I have these large man hands? So I don't want to see this when you're doing this, right? You want to push through the hands, and you want to be able to maintain contact with like the outer arch and the inner arch. And then exhale. Inhale, exhale. So like our hands are the connection to our shoulders, like our feet are a connection to our hips. So think about that. And you're just going to do 12. Inhale to push back. Exhale, forward. Try not to let the ribs flare, right? So when you go back, I want those ribs pushing back too. So now that we've gone through all this, I want to go one more time. So Caitlin, you can decide, like, do you want to do a, like one last set of like one-legged hip bridges? Because we're going to do just like the hip shift bridge that we started off with. So if I'm lying on my back and I hip shift to pull down, I'm going to inhale, bridge up, exhale, down, just like we started. And maybe it feels a little bit different and better because we've done all this other stuff. So if I take my left side, I'm pulling down and I'm reaching my right knee long. Inhale. If I want to, I could come onto the ball of my foot. I don't have to. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, but I'm reaching long through the right side as I pull back with the left, and we're going to do 12. So just like the first exercise that we did. Good. Good. Michelle, try to be more relaxed. Try to think like inhale, nice deep breath as you bridge up. Good. And then exhale down. Perfect. Nice. Good. And Danielle, think about pushing that left knee into the ball. Yes, good. Then we're going to go right into our split squats. I do recommend that we start just body weight because we're going to stick with the tempos. And if you were here on Wednesday, we played around a little bit with like elevating your foot on a book with the toes like dangling off. That was like really good for some people to find that they could actually stack their rib cage over their pelvis. So I'm going to show you how we're going to start and give you a couple of like things that you can think about. So if I'm starting in a split stance and I have my left foot forward and my right leg back, I might just be here, right? And I might just say, I'm going to get really heel heavy. You can see my foot, like you can see my arch. I'm going to lower myself down and like I'm going to allow pronation to happen. So like the midfoot's like yielding down into the ground, and then I'm going to drive myself back up. If I have a wicked, like anteriorly tilted pelvis, like a big curve to my low back, maybe I take my toes and I dangle off the front of the book. If I feel like I grip through my toes a lot, maybe I take my foot and I elevate it on top of the book. Same thing, I will take my weight at my chest, but the first set we're not going to do weights. We're going to go down and we're going to go up. So we're going to go down for 2 counts, pause for 2 counts, and up for 2 counts. But I'm dragging on my left heel the whole time, and I'm maintaining the position of my rib cage and my pelvis. Good. Anywhere that the toes can just dangle off, so then you can't grip your toes. Good. And then I want you to try to think about this. If you know what your pelvic position is, like a lot of us are a little bit more forward on the left, and we rotate a little bit. So I need to rotate towards the left, maybe even in my torso. So on my left side, I rotate at my pelvis, and then I allow my torso to kind of rotate as well. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but I might think about different things when I'm on my right side, right? I might stay more straight ahead on my right because my right has better movement options, right? So you just have to think about it while you're doing it. If I take my right foot forward, I'm here. Inhale, keep my heel heavy. Exhale, come up. As long as your heel is actually heavy, it will never hurt your knee. If you're just doing a lunge and lunging into your knee, yes, your knee will hurt. Okay, but you gotta let the heel stay heavy. So when I'm on my right side, I'm not going to rotate to the right because I'm already rotated towards the right, and most of us are. So I'm just going to go straight up and down. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Again, make sure you are on your left side or on your right side. So like right now, Danielle, rotate towards your left more. Yes. Now take your left hand and reach it forward. Good. Now go. Pause at the bottom, but get on your left side and then up. Good. Because you're still, I think that whenever you do your left side and your right side, you're always over your right side. Then we're going to do bench press and we're going to do a tempo bench press. So what we did was we put our feet on the wall, and this could be a floor press too if you don't have a bench. You're going to do 8 repetitions of a bench press. So if I grab my weights, I'm going to put my feet on the wall so I can't possibly arch through my low back. I'm dragging my heels like imaginarily down the wall. I'm feeling my breath go into my back and into my chest. And 2 presses, 2 counts up. 1, 2, 2 count, pause at the bottom. Inhale. Exhale, empty from the bottom. 1, 2. Inhale. 1, 2. Inhaling into the chest. Exhale, empty from the bottom. And you're going to do 8 heavy tempo benches.
Should I do 12s or should I do 20 and then do, like, I only have 120. Do I do 1?
I would do 120 and then just like watch your abs and maybe just do 6.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys only have 1 single weight, then just do a 1 arm press. So let's say this is your first set. Maybe on the next set, you go heavier. Maybe you don't. How'd you sleep last night? How's your stress level? We're gonna do 4 exercises. So the first one was a split squat. Second one is the bench press. Third one is gonna be an option, okay? You have the option to do a step up, which is gonna be tempo, or a pistol. That is going to be tempo. Okay. So I would say that it really depends on how you do it, but I'm going to show 2 different versions for the pistol too, because it could just be like a single leg squat. But again, we got to kind of hip shift to get into this position. Okay. So let's just try the bench single leg squat first. Everybody, we'll do it together. So let's grab that block, or like the Yeti. You could literally put something between your legs, or the ball between your legs. I just want to talk through what I'm thinking about when I do this. Okay. So say I have this block here. It's between my legs. I'm going to get on my right side. I'm going to kickstand my left leg. And I'm going to kind of pull back on my right heel as I inhale. 1, 2, driving my right knee in. 1, 2. Let's just keep it super simple. So I'm pulling the right hip back without hiking. Sit down, heel heavy. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Inhale, pull myself down. Load my right leg. Drive up. Inhale down, heel heavy, knees allowed to go forward as long as my heel is heavy, and up. Good, look down at your toes. Are they facing forward? Make sure that your pelvis isn't hiking as you go, and try not to let your torso go so far in a hinge as you're sitting yourself down. Try to almost like fall straight back with a stacked position. Yeah, good. Caitlin, you're like the professional pregnancy modification person.
I just like do things for half an hour now and leave, I feel like.
Yeah, but you're doing it. Like, that's great, dude. I wish more people could do that.
I figure it's good to keep me in the habit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's going to make your body feel better. So, do you guys feel the difference between one side and the other side? And like, do you feel like you're working that like leg?
Yes.
Thank
And the
you.
hip shift cue is really helpful too.
Yeah. So like, this is actually, I feel like it could be month 3 or month 5, like in the programming, we definitely like really break down like hip shifting in a single leg squat. Think about how many different things could be going like kind of wrong, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Like you could be hiking through one side of your pelvis. You could be letting your knee like go way too far out. You might not be grounded through your foot, right? And it's a lot to think about, but that's what ends up happening when you're like lifting heavy over a period of time or like running, and then like you run into these little like setbacks, right? So it's like, it's annoying to be mindful, but it's really good because then you know why you're kind of in pain, and then you can kind of help yourself, you know? Now we're going to do a tricep pullover tempo. So you're going to be back on the bench and you're using one dumbbell. So I was using like a 30, start off lighter, get the feeling down. We're going to do more than one set, so you'll have plenty of opportunity. This time, I don't necessarily put my feet on the wall. I just keep them flat on the bench. Again, you can't expect to go overhead if when you're sitting down, you don't have full overhead flexion. You're not going to pull your arms way over your head because your rib cage is going to flare, right? So I like this as an ab exercise too, to maintain the stack. So if I grab onto my weight here and my feet are on the bench, I'm going to hold onto my weight. I kind of make a diamond with my hands. So I just like hold onto the top of the weight. And then I think about this, reach my hands up towards the ceiling with my arms straight. My heels are kind of pulling back. My rib cage is flat on the bench. And then I'm going to inhale, start to bend at my elbows. Inhaling into my chest and into my back. Exhale up. Inhale. Make sure your ribs are staying down. Exhale up. Inhale. Elbows in towards the midline. Exhale. Hello, Evelyn. I want you to try to do 8 to 10, nice and slow. Again, if you don't have full overhead flexion, you're definitely not going to go super high. Good. Arpita, I want you to reach up towards the ceiling every single time. So like bring your arms straight over your chest every single rep. More. Yes, now go like this with your hands so that you're, yep. Good. Much better. Now let your elbows bend and then come back up. So it's kind of a combination of a pullover and a tricep extension. Does that make sense? Yep, bending at the elbows, keeping the ribs back. Evelyn is hilarious, Katie, if you ever watch the videos back. Oh my God, I love it. Now, that was 4. We have the split squat, we had the chest press, then we did the single leg squat, and then we just did the pullover. We're gonna go back to the split squats now, okay? This time you're gonna weight them. They're still gonna be tempo. If you like having the front foot elevated with the toes hanging off, do it if it maintains that pelvic and rib cage position. We'll probably do 3 rounds, so I just want you to think like go a little heavier. Because the first round we didn't use weight, we're gonna use weight here. Maybe you feel like crushing yourself today. I'm not sure. Good. So you're going to hold it goblet style. And again, if you start on the left, maybe you rotate your pelvis and your rib cage towards the left, right? You're holding onto your weight. You're thinking left foot forward, right leg back. Drag on the heel. Look at my torso. It's going to stay nice and stacked as I pull down, heel heavy. I'm literally so straight up and down. And then I'm going to drag myself back up nice and slow. Inhale. Allow that mid-foot to kind of drop. And slowly come back up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Tempo is going to be real hard for you type A personality people. So I'm bringing it. Slow down. Good. Do you have your front foot elevated, Katie?
Nope.
Why don't you try it and let your toes hang off like a book? Because what I'm seeing with people who are really dumped forward is it's like really helping. Yeah, that's totally fine. Good. And Danielle, really push through that big toe knuckle. I know it's awkward on that. You get A+ for effort. Good. Now imagine, Katie, that I'm there pushing your torso, like your ribs back a little bit. Yep. Heel heavy, heel heavy, heel heavy, heel heavy, heel heavy. Good. Now you're like totally eliminating that hinge point that you get from like flaring your ribs. Rebecca, you're going to go back to tempo bench. She's like, I didn't even do the other leg. Back leg. Rotate your left hip toward your right just a little bit. Yep, yep, yep. Good. Better. Heel heavy, heel heavy, heel heavy. Good. Make sure you can feel that low back nice and flat on the bench. You're kind of dragging on those heels with the knees bent. Good. Nice and slow. 2 counts down, 2 count pause at the bottom. 2 counts press on. Now, I'm not rushing you, but I'm going to talk per usual. If you didn't love the bench version of the single leg squat, I'm going to show you the pistol version if you have like a TRX or a suspension trainer. But if you have like a lot of issues with your feet and your knees, like I wouldn't rush right into the pistol. I think that those single leg squats are good. And if you want, you can hold on to a little dumbbell goblet style with the squatting to the bench. That might be a really great option for you. So if I'm here and I have my block in between my legs, and then I take a weight in my hands. I could even use like a kettlebell goblet style. I just want to think about getting into that side. So my right leg has the weight. I'm pulling myself down, keeping my torso up, finding your big toe mound, heel heavy. I could just do inhale down, exhale, drag it out. If I've been working on the pistols for a while, I feel good. I'm gonna hold on to my rings or my suspension trainer. I'm gonna get that right foot down and I'm gonna lower 1, 2. I'm gonna hold heavy in the heel. 1, 2. I'm gonna slowly come up. 1, 2. Inhale, heel heavy. Pause. Nice and slow. Good. Michelle, try a weight. I think it might actually help you. Yep. Now imagine that like you could just fall straight down with your heel heavy. Good. Sit all the way down if you can.
Like actually sit on the bench.
Yep. Good. Now use your heel heavy to come up. So think about it, that lack of internal rotation that a lot of us have, if we can drive the knee in towards the ball or to the block, that is going to give us the internal rotation that we need to open up the backside of the pelvis and hopefully maintain that more neutral position at the pelvis. Good. 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 So it's like for you, Michelle, what I see is like you really got to work on getting your heel nice and heavy. Like to start from the bottom up. Good. Now drag on the heel almost, driving the knee into the block and slowly. Yeah. See? Good. And then like up the chain, you just want to keep the ribs like down a little bit more, but still sternum up. And yes, it's complicated, but that was better. After the split squats or the pistols, we're going to go right to those pullovers with the tricep extension. So just make sure you're keeping the ribs back and inhaling into the chest. So you should feel the pullovers like in your triceps. Good. Do you feel your abs, Katie Morgan? Good. Good. Imagine inhaling into your whole chest, like all along the clavicle. Exhale, empty from the bottom, finding your abs. Nice. So let's go one more set of the split squats. I know you don't really want to, but we're gonna. Good. Maybe you go a little heavier, maybe you don't. Maybe you really try to get over that left side this time. Yeah, good. Good. Little bit of a pause at the bottom, slowly lowering down and then coming back up. Just nice and slow. And if you know that you really struggle to get on your right side, go with your right side first, right? Good. As you lower yourself down, you're inhaling, you're relaxing your pelvic floor. On the exhale, your pelvic floor lifts. You exhale out your mouth from the bottom up. Make sure you're really getting back on that right heel, Jacqueline. Yeah. Good. Good. Back to the bench. Don't worry, we're not going to just do tempos the entire day. You know me, I love to slow it all down. Good. Michelle, I want you to think about this. If you turn your fingernails in towards your face, pull down. Yeah. Now, it doesn't have to be like so close like a tricep press, but like you're still going to be at 45 degrees, but you don't always have to turn your hands like that, right? It's not like you're using a bar. This is just going to give your shoulders more. Yep. Get your elbows out to 45. Yep. And then press back. Perfect. Yep. Good. I like there to be a nice stretch at the bottom. And I don't know, I like a neutral bench better. So we got 2 sets of the first two, 3 sets of the first 2 exercises in, but instead of doing the sit down squat or the pistol, we're going to do a step up and we're going to work on that mid range of the internal rotation. So if this really feels like trash on you, then you can do the sit to stand again, but I just want to try it with you guys. So if I'm here and let's say I have no weight or anything. Can you see how my right leg is up on the bench? I'm going to rotate my left elbow towards my right knee. Okay, so here I am. RPD, you're probably going to want to do the squatting down to the bench. So say I'm here. I'm rotating. I want to be able to push through my heel, come all the way up, and then as I lower myself down, I'm still doing that, nice and slow. I don't even want to hit the ground as hard as I just did. I want to go super, super slow. I'm just going to move to over here so you guys can see me better. So I'm on my bench. If you have a super high bench and you want to not be as high, you can put like a yoga block down. Or you can put something on top of like a shorter bench. But if I go to step myself up here, I'm rotated. My left elbow is rotating towards my right knee. I'm going to use my right leg to push me up. And then I'm going to slowly, slowly lower down. Up. Rotate. Inhale. Don't lose the big toe mound. And drive it up. So it's all in the right leg. Yep. Heel heavy, Push, push, push. Nice. Good. Good. Don't jump off your back leg. Really think about heel heavy. Get over that leg. Nice. And then slowly, 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 slowly lower. Good. Good. So if you need to, you could always put something underneath like the big toe mound, because I see a lot of people rolling to the outside of their foot. Just think about that, how that mid foot has to be kind of like in contact with the ground. But I want you to do 10 on each leg. Really think about rotating towards that left side now, right elbow towards left knee. Yep. Slowly, good. These are gonna be your new favorite, Katie Morgan. Nice. Good. Danielle, don't rest down on the right leg so much. Try to stay as much forward on your left as you can. Yeah, right there. Stay forward on it. Good. So you can't bounce. After that, we're going to grab a light weight in a half kneeling position. We're going to do a rotational overhead press. And when I mean lightweight, I literally mean lightweight, because like I use like 10 pounds. So like 5, 8, 10 pounds in a half kneeling position. So if I have my right leg forward, I'm going to press with my left arm, all right? And I'm going to be dragging on my right heel as I do it. So I want you to see that if my right leg is forward, I'm dragging back on the heel. I want you to be able to see my torso too. I'm going to take my weight in my left hand. My ribs are back. See how my fingernails are facing my face? I'm going to rotate and inhale to press without arching in my back. Inhale, back. Inhale, press, back. Now, this is like a 12 and this is like a struggle city for me. Okay, so yes, good. Keep the ribs back. If my right foot is forward, I'm pressing with my left arm as I inhale overhead. I can really feel this in my obliques. I'm not allowing my rib cage to flare. Good. Danielle, take your right leg back a little bit more, drag on the hamstring a lot, and then keep your elbow in towards your body as you're reaching like an uppercut almost. I'm gonna do it a couple more times. And then notice the difference, like my right side and my left side, obviously not the same, but it's interesting to pay attention to like, well, why can I overhead press like so much more weight? Because you're freaking doing it wrong, right? You're flaring through your ribs. So I really just want you to think inhale and exhale. Inhale, we're getting expansion through the back of the rib cage, getting those obliques working. Nice. Nice, that was good, Cheryl.
Stacey, the ball that you've been using a lot, what is that? Because I don't see it on the portal.
Yeah, it's not. It's literally like if you use like a kid's ball, I can send you a couple like options from like the PRI stuff. But that was literally like, I used to have like an abduction adduction thing that someone like made and I like bought off the internet, and it ended up being like the perfect size. But I will post something. Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you.
Now I want to do 20 lateral hide-ins. Okay. So side to side, you're going to stick it on your right. You're going to stick it on your left. You're going to stick it on your right, stick it on your left. And you're trying to go as far lateral as you can. Okay. So I'm here. Pop, stick, pop, stick, pop, stick, I am not trying to jump as high as possible. I'm trying to push the ground away from me and get as far laterally as I can and then catch. Okay, perfect. Nice. Good, and swing those arms. Good, looking at the toes facing forward. Getting over the side that you're landing on. Then we're gonna come into a bear position at the wall. You're gonna give me 20 step forwards, alternating sides left and right. These are my favorite. Lots of people hate them. If I'm in this position, I'm on my hands and knees. I got my feet on the wall. I'm pushing the ground away. I'm gonna step my right hand and my left foot forward as I inhale. Inhale, exhale. Left hand, right knee. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Repeat it. Just do mountain climbers on your bench. Inhaling as the knee pulls in. Good. So I'm just doing 20 of these. Step forward, step back. Push. Inhaling in as you go forward. Yep. Maintain the position of your pelvis. Nice. Reach with the arm. I want to see those shoulder blades moving on the rib cage. Jacqueline, pelvis is looking good. Good. So Danielle, can you just crawl forward or does it not feel good?
It doesn't feel good.
Okay. What feels bad?
It's just so tight in my like lower back.
Okay, so what I want you to do is think about doing like the bear to the down dog where you're maintaining the tucked position. So tuck your toes under, lift your knees off the ground, but almost like drop your knees down more so you can be tucked. Does it hurt right there if your knees are just like a millimeter off the ground or no?
No.
Yeah, so then what I want you to do is just this, kind of like rock forward and back. This is like day 18. If I go like this and I go forward, and then just a little bit back, my knees are off the ground. Forward, push my heels into the wall, back. Exhale forward, inhale back. Good, so it's getting that connection from your feet all the way through. We're gonna go back and we're gonna do those step ups that we did, but this time we're just gonna do like a plyo step up. If that's not an option, just do an alternating reverse lunge. So watch, we did the crossover step ups, they're just gonna take too long. So this is the option. I'm here, step up, push, down, up, jump, down, or I just do a reverse lunge, hop, reverse lunge, hop. I just want you to do 10 on each side. Perfect. Yeah. Bye. Good. Danielle, look at yourself in the camera. See how you leave your butt behind even at the top of the step up? Just watch that. Let your hips come all the way through. Better, better. Good. I feel like the co-contractions, like once you start really getting them, it's going to make such a big difference. It's going to be good. Good. Then you're going to do your bear variation. So for Danielle, she's going to rock back and forward. Like if I'm here, or anybody that really kind of struggles with the position of their pelvis, you go forward, exhale. I push myself off the wall, inhale back, exhale forward, inhale back. You can't do anything about asymmetry until you take care of the orientation, right? So if I'm here, hands and knees, inhale, exhale. Use it as an opportunity to really reach through the arm. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Then you're gonna do 20 lateral hide-ins. And then you'll be fucking done. So I'm gonna try to be as springy as I can. Think about that big toe now. I'm gonna jump, stick, jump, stick. I'm getting my body over the side that I've landed on that stance leg. Jump, stick, getting a little bit of rotation, right? Allowing the left side to come over the right side. Yep. So that we actually end up over the sides. Then you can just throw yourself to the ground and pull your knees into your chest. You're gonna take both your knees and you're gonna bring them over to the right. I'm on my right side. My left knee is reaching long. Oh, guess what? Hip shift. Left knee reaching long. Take my right hand on top of my left knee. That's staying long. And then just inhale, open up. This is not a low back stretch. This is a rib cage opener and more of like T-spine. As long as you keep that top knee long. Allow the pec to relax. Maybe even grab on, like find your nipple, draw a diagonal line toward your armpit. I like to say everything you do, you must undo. So if you think that you're gonna feel fine and you don't do any sort of like self-massage or rolling, that ain't true. Use your abs to pull your knees into your chest, shift them over to the left. Right knee reaches long, inhale, open up. Feel the difference between the two sides, inhale. Maybe you just feel tight in different places. Maybe you find your nipple, draw a diagonal line, give yourself a little massage on the pec. You're done. Happy Friday.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.